crossing the boundaries of eras and genres, going to unconventional theaters to appreciate the art of cinema. Cooking dry-aged steak with coffee grounds to bring out a taste never experienced before. Conveying the story of each flower through unique aesthetics, the florist uses skilled hands to make plants bloom with life.
There are many ways to enjoy life, and watching a film is one of them. But if you want to watch art house productions, restored films, or even experimental documentaries, you'll have to come to M+ Cinema. Silke, I'm so happy to be speaking with you today. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good as well. Very eager to discuss a little bit about what's happening at the cinema. Could you tell me what is so different about M+ Cinema?
First of all, you can see we're seated here in our House 1, which is part of the architect's idea of having 3 very distinct cinema houses within the museum. So this is our biggest theater with 180 seats, and we have a second house with 60 seats and 40 seats. Besides the architecture is also having a cinema in a museum that is very, very special. So there's a lot of crossover with what we program here on the screen and the exhibitions that audiences can see upstairs in the museum, and also our public programs and other activities.
Would you say that this allows the audiences to have a strong connection with the thing that they're seeing, or perhaps is there another kind of connection that you'd like to bring to the audiences?
Yeah, I think in the cinema it's probably the most focused experience of how we look at films, and this is the space in the museum where we can show feature-length films, or sometimes very durational films, actually of up to 8 hours. That's something that we wouldn't do in a gallery context, because people usually will look at many different things. Since we launched it a year ago, so we had many Hong Kong filmmakers to come and speak with us, from Fruit Chan to An Hui. So a lot of local artists, but also international film artists like Claire Denis, a famous French filmmaker. So it's a space where we not only watch films together, but also debate and think about film as a medium. I think what sets us apart in terms of programming from other commercial cinemas or other art house cinemas is that every single program that we put together is thoroughly researched and also put in context on what's going on elsewhere in the museum. So often our film programs have, for example, short films or experimental films, or sometimes even a little advertising that relates to the subject matter. So when audiences come, they will get more than just a screening of a feature-length film.
Yeah. Oh, I noticed that ecology in film was a great success in the springtime. Could you share a little bit some of the highlights in the theme, in the programs, and what were you most proud about?
I think I'm just, first of all, proud about, M+ being able to put together such programs, and to work, in this case, with a very cross-disciplinary team. We had some very young local curators working with more seasoned, international curators, to think about ecology from different angles. So what maybe characterizes M+ in general is that whatever we do is informed by Hong Kong, the place where we are. So this program contains some very concrete local takes on how we can protect the environment, how we can think more about sustainability. So we had, for example, Lo Lai Lai, Natalie, a local filmmaker who works a lot on farming and fishing. She's a farmer herself, so some very relatable. But then we had also big names like Edward Betansky, thinking more on a global scale about manufacturing, about the endangered environment. Or another highlight in this program was a famous French video artist called Pierre Huyghe. He thinks more about the world from a non-human perspective. So this program allowed also to think about how animals might think about the world, or non-humans.
Wow, that's a lot of different kinds of perspectives in one space. Well, what's happening in summertime? Because I know that you also have a very diverse program scheduled for the summer.
Exactly. So the program is just out, so I'm pleased to show you this picture with Apichatpong, Verasitakul's Uncle Buni, an important film from Thailand. So we have several highlights in this summer edition, one of them being cultures from the south. So that's another research area that we look at. So we have An Hui's Vietnam trilogy, for example. We have Apichatpong. We also team up with the ASEAN Film Festival to present some works from Southeast Asia. And another very special program is dedicated to animation in Asia. So we will feature early animations from different countries, from the mainland, from Hong Kong with Nicolo, Thailand, South Korea. Again, looking also at some key figures, pioneers. So that's something that we do a lot in the museum, finding the origins of certain forms of expression. So I think this is a really very special program to check out. We also have some masterclasses with a German Super 8 filmmaker, Helga Fundel, who still works with Super 8 film and will project in this cinema from her small projector. So, it's a lot of also performance-based moving image projections in this summer edition.
But in your view, right, what would you say is the most enjoyable part of creating this film program?
I think what I personally still like the most about cinema is that it's also a social experience. You come to a cinema, you see a film together with an audience, you can talk about it as you walk out of the cinema, you learn something new. You can even go upstairs to see an exhibition that has a relationship with what is on the screen.
Yeah, and that's really a sense of good taste, I believe, in filming as well.
Yes. I mean, I think about M+ as a whole is that we cover all kinds of cultures, from popular culture, from things that are very accessible to very high-end, high-profile artists. And I think it's the range of these different categories or artists and motivations for artists to make work that makes it so exciting.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your sharing, Silke. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Same. Thank you.
Other than the cinema, also has a very special media tent with over 250 different kinds of moving images for movie fans to enjoy. The Mediatek combines an exhibition hall, library, and relaxation space. It is equipped with viewing rooms of different sizes. Whether you want to watch a film yourself or with a few friends, you can find a suitable space to meet your needs. Freely choose from a diverse selection of works spanning different eras and genres, including art house, documentaries, and exclusive guest interviews. Each collection is incredibly precious. Come and enjoy the sensational audiovisual experience and elevate your sense of taste.
As a F&B haven, Hong Kong has food from all around the world, and there are great restaurants in all 18 districts. Now, to appeal to discerning diners, restaurants have to get creative in both cooking and pairing food.
And these days, they also put a lot of effort and attention in preparing the ingredients too. But what kind of creativity can we have here so diners can be surprised?
Steak has always been a Hong Kong favorite. There's lots to pay attention to even when talking about a single piece of quality steak. Origin of cattle, cut, degree to which it's cooked, etc. And you can write an entire encyclopedia on each of these things. In recent years, dry aged has been all the buzz when we talk about high quality steak. Many restaurants like to showcase a steak fridge prominently when you walk in. Now, what exactly does this fridge do?
That is our dry-aged fridge that was tailor-made and produced in Europe. The function of dry-aged fridge is to create a temperature-controlled environment in which the meat can be stored and avoiding growth of bacteria that can cause the meat to spoil. Dry-aged beef has more concentrated intense flavor and tenderness compared to normal beef. The dry aging process basically allows natural enzymes to break down the connective tissue of the meat creating this tenderness. Dry-aged beef has also a darker color exterior, which is formed during the dry aging process. Additionally, unfortunately, the dry-aged beef is typically more expensive than normal beef due to the additional time and effort and expenses required to dry age.
In order to bring top-notch taste, the beef is carefully selected from all over the world, including the United States, Australia, Japan, and other places. In addition to the high-quality ingredients themselves, different cooking techniques, dry aging, and sauces can further enhance the deliciousness of the beef.
Basically, the steak, during the dry aging process, the enzyme break through the tissue, therefore develop different flavor and more tenderness. Of course, when you dry age a steak for 20 days, that will eventually don't develop too much strong umami flavor versus a 60-day or 45 days steaks, which will develop a very stronger flavor. And somehow people, depends always of the people who eat the meat, right? Some people like it more enhanced flavor, some people like more mild flavor. So usually 45 days is actually the right time to try the dry age flavor development.
So we have here 45 days, house dry-aged porterhouse. We got tenderloin on this side, strip loin on this side. I'm a strip loin fan. What about you?
I'm a fan of both, so they're different, right? So let me help you here.
Thank you.
There's the strip. Very tender, as you would expect in a dry-aged steak, because great care was taken to prepare the steak. It was aged, like you said, 45 days, around 4 to 8 degrees at 70% humidity. So you would expect it to taste great and to be tender because so much care was put into its preparation.
It really does taste different, like not your normal
Nope.
porterhouse, right?
No.
It kind of like tastes like roast beef to me. Do you think?
And I pick up a little bit of almost the popcorn butter. The flavors of popcorn
Very
butter.
rich.
Each type of steak is immaculately prepared by the culinary team, ensuring that their beef flavors are highlighted as intended. Among the different steaks, one that sticks out has to be the coffee-infused dry-aged sirloin.
So we try to combine the dry aging method together with the coffee ground function, which basically help to enhance the savory flavor from the meat together with the toastiness of the coffee. That's create a very special effect on the beef you will have in your table, and it's something very, very special that we would like to invite you to try.
So Joyce, next up we have another dry-aged beef, but this time not as long. It's only 20 days. But the special thing about this one is it's got some coffee grounds you see sprinkled on the plate.
Oh,
and
wow.
that's because in the dry-age process, the culinary team has added coffee grounds to the butter that layered the steak during the dry-age process.
That sounds really special. Who would have thought, like, coffee?
Yeah.
Steak?
Well, try
Let's
it.
try.
And let me get you some sauce. That's important. What do you think?
Definitely a flavor that I've never thought would go together, right?
Not what I expected. It's strong.
It's really strong, but it's not exactly like very rich in coffee.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not like you're drinking a cappuccino. right?
But it has that kind of aroma.
Yes,
And I think there's also coffee in the sauce.
there is. There is.
So it really complements each other.
Yep.
Actually, a lot of times when we come to these restaurants and we get to try out dishes, it's more than just a taste, right? The chef's passion goes behind the dish.
he usually has his own personal story, the inspiration behind it.
And in this case, some creativity as well, right? I've never had coffee notes in my steak before, and I wouldn't have thought it would work, but it's really nice.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Weddings, Valentine's Day, anniversaries. Besides buying flowers for special occasions, people have put more emphasis on self-care and self-love in recent years. Flowers aren't limited to special occasions. They can elevate your mood, inspire creativity, and bring joy. Flowers have been a popular form of decorative art for centuries. From simple bouquets to elaborate centerpieces, the art of flowers can add beauty and elegance to any space. Florists are experts in the field, creating stunning floral arrangements that are both visually appealing and long-lasting. Hello Solomon, it's so nice to meet you. I read somewhere online that you actually hold the doctorate in linguistics. So actually the switch from floral design and linguistics is actually really big. What made you want to change?
Well, I've always liked flowers. In fact, I've always liked anything that grows, like plants and like small flowers, botanics and stuff like that. And it all first started when I was very young. I used to watch my mom arrange flowers in the church. And when I went to study in the UK, there's a garden at the back at the house where we rented. So I start pottering around, try growing anything from seeds. And then afterwards, when they got flowers, I just try to put them together to see how they look. And that's really taken a hold on me. And I started to look around for courses, study flower arranging, gardening, and that's all began from there.
That's very interesting because when I was in college, I didn't know that flower arrangement classes were available. So what did they actually teach you in the classes? Like, do they teach you a design, how to look for colors, different arrangement?
They teach you the shapes of flowers, different colors, how to combine them. But what's more important with flower arranging is that because they have a limited life and how to prolong them and how to condition them and in fact how to grow them.
I see. Each flower has its own identity and story. Different combinations and arrangements can change the entire mood and atmosphere of a room. This can be elevated based on the artistic touch and skills of the florist. So Solomon, there are different styles of floral arrangements, perhaps let's say Western and Eastern. What are the differences and what do you think your style is?
I think the major idea about Eastern and Western is that the Eastern style of flower design, we are concentrating and more creating space. Something that's thought-provoking. It's almost like a philosophy. So you kind of meditate with the flower arrangement. But with the Western flower arranging, it's more kind of like a daily life thing, It's more like using colors and using flowers that you can see in the market and just basically make you feel happy. So that's the major difference between the two.
When people think about floral arrangements, they think about exhibitions and really big floral displays. Do they all have to be big?
No, they don't all have to be very big. Sometimes we can just create something that's very small, very happy, very cozy, and for anywhere in your household. Maybe we can try some of those here.
Okay, sure.
So I think the first idea about flower arranging is that you don't have to be afraid of it. It's actually very, very simple. Just go to the market, pick whatever you want. For a vase such as this size, all we need is about 3 kinds of flowers. One is the major flowers that you like, or maybe now we are in the peony season, so you can just pick up the peonies, or maybe if you like roses, you can pick roses. And then you just need some filler flowers and 1 or 2 pieces of leaves, and that's all you need for a perfect flower arrangement.
Okay.
You can just cut any height that you want. It's actually quite easy sometimes. If you want to judge what is the right length, just make it slightly taller than the vase, and that's all you need.
So usually in flower arrangements, you have to pick a main flower, correct?
Yes, that's right.
And then supporting flowers, I would call it?
Yes.
And how many do you usually need for the supporting flowers?
It's actually a matter of proportion. You can just put it in any way you want. If you have main flowers such as this showy fuchsia type, all we need is just a few supporting characters just to show off the beauty. But also you need to pick the right color for it too.
Right, because you don't want it to kind of steal the attention away from the main flowers, correct?
Exactly. And all we need to do is to find some colors that are slightly muted, such as this one. This rose is called Juliet.
Juliet, it's like my name.
It's like your name. And this is a garden rose.
Okay.
And it's slightly on the paler side. We've put in all the round-shaped flowers. We might need to contrast it with some smaller flowers, such as these lovely daisy.
So it kind of soothes your entire mood, and you're just focused on creating a beautiful bouquet of flower and nothing else. So it's very soothing in that manner.
Yes, it's actually cleansing, put it that way.
Oh, yes,
it's
that's the right,
it's almost
good
like
word.
filtering all your bad mood away and then make yourself feel a lot more refreshed afterwards. There you go, we're done.
We're done. It's beautiful.
Yes. It's actually a lot easier than you think, right?
It was, and it was very therapeutic. Whether a single rose or a bouquet of tulips, flowers can transform a space. But what challenges do florists face in Hong Kong, where space is extremely limited? So Solomon, you mentioned that you studied it in the UK and that's when you found your love of floristry, but the climate in the UK is very different from the climate in Hong Kong. It's very humid in Hong Kong. So what adjustments have you had to make in your floral design?
So the UK and Hong Kong, two different climates. The UK is more temperate and then Hong Kong is more tropical. Like say in Hong Kong, we are using a lot more mix of colorful tropicals, flowers such as anthurium as well as birds of paradise to mix into more temperate climate flowers such as roses and irises. So this mix, I think, gives a very new identity to the Hong Kong flower arranging as well.
What are some of the global trends that are happening in floristry right now?
Yes, we are going green all the way in floristry around the world, environmentally sustainable. Flowers, organically grown flowers, using less packaging are all the big trends at the moment. You know, it's taking from nature, but at the same time giving back.
I love that because, as you know, ESG is very trending right now, and I love that floristry can go hand in hand with sustainability.
Definitely.
And thank you so much for your time today, Solomon.
Thank you.